There we go. I always get that freeze right before I start filming. Oh, jeez, I always do that too. Well, good morning. It's just a little after 8 a.m. here, and of course what I'm doing is I'm checking the sound manager because I always have to make certain the microphone is turned up. There was actually one time when I started filming and for some reason about 10 minutes into it I decided I'll see what the volumes are on everything, and I noticed the mic was muted. So I had actually gone, just sitting here talking for 10 minutes, and I went back and looked at the video and I'm like, oh my god. Because I'm just sitting there going, yeah. It's sunny today. It's sunny, and it's still chilly, although, well, the wind is blowing. The wind here has been crazy of late. It's supposed to get up to 45 degrees. I don't know. I really don't know. It's supposed to get up 45 degrees today, but it's been windy, so it doesn't matter if it's like 40 degrees outside. You walk outside, and even if it's sunny, that wind just comes whipping down the Susquehanna and bores right through you. It also makes for a lot of fun driving across the river because the wind is just whipping at you, especially if you're going across the I-83 bridge over here because it's so high. It has to be. It's real high, so you just feel your car, going back and forth like this as you're being buffeted by the wind. It's not a lot of fun. It really isn't. Like I said, it's been like this all week. We've had just some crazy, insane weather. It's not like in the Midwest or to the east of us where it seems like every other day you're getting, 5 inches of snow dumped on you. And I just saw that the Midwest got hit with another snowstorm. So crazy, yeah. Yeah, but there's no climate change, none whatsoever. Yeah, and this is going to be a weird weekend for me. And if you've been following the blog this week, you know what I'm going to talk about. I mean, I do want to talk about my writing, and I've actually, like I said, 50. I've written almost 1,200 words in 3 days, which actually it was only over the course of 2 days, because one day I just kind of like space it off. And you're getting a chance to see this vision I had been talking about, and I haven't gotten too many responses on like what the hell's going on in the vision. It's okay, it's fine. Yeah. Eventually someone will read it and go, what the hell is going on? But you can tell it's somewhere in the future, of course. And the kids they're not kids anymore. That's pretty obvious. They're not kids anymore. So this is again one of those where they're probably out of school because they're talking about, if you read this last excerpt, they're talking about having been in the field and not seeing each other for 9 months. So whatever it is they're doing, they're busy and they're not doing it together. Can you imagine Annie and Carrie being apart for 9 months? There will actually, one of the excerpts coming up, there will be something that Annie will say about, one of the reasons why she wants time with Carrie is because there's something else they haven't done in 9 months. I wonder what that could be. Hey, that girl. She is is a little sexually active witch. And she's proud of it. That's the thing. You have to give the kids credit. Well, Annie mostly. Carrie doesn't like to talk about it, but you do get the sense that whenever the subject of sex comes up, Annie is never embarrassed to talk about it. And she seems completely aware of her body, what makes it feel good, what doesn't make it feel good. And she's, she does not seem to be bothered by the fact that she's a sexually active, and we have to admit they are, a sexually active 14-year-old girl. And it doesn't bother her at all. And if you tried shaming her over it, she probably would set you on fire. But yeah, she's like, yeah, we do things. They haven't gone all the way, but the whole oral sex thing is happening, so we know that. And it doesn't seem to bother her. She doesn't care. In a way, you have to look at it as she knows they're getting married. It's really, they're not going to mess around with the kids. They're getting married. So to her, it's sort of like, well, I'm just doing what married couples do, which is have sex, Yeah, you gotta love it. Carrie's... I've been thinking a lot about Carrie of late, and I've been thinking about his relationship with his mother. Tilting this again. There we go. And Carrie's relationship with his mother is really kind of shit. His mother really is a bad person. She actually is. And I was actually going over a scene in my head, which doesn't happen until the kids are like E levels, F levels. They're actually getting ready to they're getting ready to graduate at some point. And Carrie actually makes the comment. He's had a discussion with his mom. They're not quite yelling at each other anymore, but you can tell it's kind of tense. And in the scene I was imagining, there would be some rather honest truths passed back and forth between Carrie and Louise. I mean, she finally, at some point in the future, is going to come clean, basically, on her true feelings about Carrie. And like I said, while they don't get into like a screaming match or anything like that, it does bother him. And Carrie, by that time, will actually do whatever he can just to kind of blow it all off. But he'll make a comment to Annie. He'll say, "Do you know the story of the scorpion and the frog?" And Annie will say, "Yes." And he'll go, "Well, my mom's the scorpion. And the real bitch about it is she knows it and it doesn't bother her." And in case you're ever wondering, what is the story of the scorpion and the frog? I'll give it to you real quick. There's a scorpion who goes up to a frog and says, "I want to cross this river here. Can I ride on your back?" And the frog is like, "I'm not taking you across this river, because what's going to happen is you're going to end up stinging me and killing me." And the scorpion's like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'll be cool. Don't worry about it. So frog's like, okay, hop on. And they're swimming across. He's swimming across. And then halfway over, the scorpion stings the frog. It stings it several times, which is going to paralyze the frog and kill it. And as the frog is going under, he's like, "Why did you sting me? We're both going to drown." And the scorpion goes, "I know, but stinging you is in my nature." And that's kind of what Carrie is alluding to. His mom knows that by being this queen bitch and having certain not so nice feelings about Carrie, she knows it's going to poison her relationship, but she can't help it. It's just her nature. So, there, she is kind of like that. Louise is kind of like that. She's not a completely evil mother, but she's got some fucking problems. There's something in there that just doesn't sit well with her, and she just takes it out on her kid, her only child, who she wanted to be a girl. And wait till Louise finds out. There will, eventually, it actually happens in the next novel that Louise is going to find out about Carrie's other nature. We'll see how she handles that. If you know Louise, you already know the answer. Yeah. Like I said, you know the answer if you understand where I'm coming from with Louise. She is not going to be happy. But I always wanted a girl, just not you. And that's probably what's going to go down. It's going to be like, well, yeah, I always wanted a girl, just not you. There you go. So I'll keep writing on that. I'm going to do a little writing today. I figure if I can get about 500 words a day now, which has actually been taking me like around an hour to an hour and a half. It actually took me longer than that. Let's see. I did it during the entire I did it during the playing of Jesus Christ Superstar, the entire album. Let me check that. I did it during the Cast album. And, Wikipedia, I can always go to this, and the concept album. And the concept album runs 86 minutes and 56 seconds. So almost 90 minutes, almost an hour and a half. It's like an hour and 27 minutes. And it took me nearly all that hour and 27 minutes to write 550 words yesterday. It's a slow going process. I probably did it all in about an hour and 10, hour and 15, something like that. It's getting back. It's taking a lot of willpower to get everything focused so that I can write. It's not like it used to be. It used to be pretty simple. It used to be I'd just get up in the morning and start writing, and I wish I could get back to those days, but I don't seem to have probably the focus, probably the drive. A lot of things have changed since the first time I started writing back in 2011. So, I wish I could, like I said, I wish I could get back to that. I really do. But, I don't know. One of these days, maybe. Probably when I'm 70, going senile. Back in my day. Yeah, it's hard to believe. I started writing when I was like 7 years old. I started writing 7 years ago. And I actually started working on this entire series 6 years ago. And I'm still working on it. And getting closer and closer to that 1,000,000 word mark. I actually should check to see how many words I've written so far, but it's close to 1,000,000. 1,000,000 words in 6 years. That's a lot of words when you think about it. It's actually 5.5 years right now, so it'll be 6 years in November. November 1st will be when I actually started the current novel set. So right now it's about 5.5 years, almost 1,000,000 words. That's a lot. So, but I have a big team weekend. This is what we would call Boutmas Eve in Derby, and it's because tomorrow's our first home opener. It's actually our first game, period. And see, I got scratches all over myself. It's unbelievable. And tonight we have a team get together at a bar, which, given that it's St. Patrick's Day, I'm like, oh my God. By the way, Aaron Go Brawless. There you go. There's my traditional St. Patrick's Day greeting. But yeah, we're getting like 25 people together at a bar for a team building meeting. I am not going to drink. Actually, no one who is playing tomorrow is supposed to drink, because the last thing you want to do is go out there on roller skates and work your ass off for an hour while hungover. Some people can do it. They are better people than me, because I've worked hungover. I have worked so hungover before that I just wanted to die. And it's not fun. So yeah, it's actually, we were talking about that, and it's actually like a WFTDA, Women's Flat Track Derby Association rule that you cannot drink within 24 hours of a bout. You have to stay sober. Somebody even said they thought it might be 48, because some people would go out and just party on before they hit the 24-hour mark. Well, if you finish drinking 15 beers at 24 hours and 1 minute before your bout is supposed to start the next day, you're still going to wake up hungover. So somebody was saying, one of my teammates was even saying the other night, that they think it's actually a 48-hour rule. You're not allowed to party, not allowed to drink within 48 hours. One of the reasons why they have after parties is so all these drunken Derby girls can get wasted as shit after they've been beating on each other. So we have that, and then tomorrow I'll be in the St. Patrick's Day Parade. Yes, Harrisburg has their St. Patrick's Day Parade the day after St. Patrick's Day. Go figure. I'll be in the St. Patrick's Day Parade tomorrow. I have not determined if I am walking or skating. I don't have outdoor wheels, so I may not be skating. Even though someone said they'd let me borrow their outdoor wheels. I don't know. We'll see. And then immediately after the parade, I have to come back here. Fortunately, I can walk over to where the parade is starting. It's like a 15-minute walk for me. And then I come back here and go to the rink, and I start helping with setup at 4:30. I will be filming the bout, because several of the people, this is their first bout, and they said, really would like to see film of us playing. And I said, okay, I'll make sure I film the bout. So it's going to be a busy weekend for me. And like I said, if you've been reading my blog, you also know it's going to be a sad day. I was hoping that with this video, I could kind of brag on about the fact that I was going to be playing tomorrow. And of course I'm not. I did not certify. I did not make my final test, which has been hanging over me for about 4 months now, unable to achieve it. And topping that off with all the other shit that's been going on in my life, losing my job, finalizing a divorce, losing my HRT doctor. It's really worsened my depression. That's one of the reasons why I decided, I don't want to drink tonight. because, for one, I'm liable to just go on a bender. And when I'm depressed, people who are depressed tend to start self-medicating rather quickly, and drinking is one of those ways I used to self-medicate. And I can put it away really quick when I want to. So I decided, no, I'm not going to drink tonight. It would be in everyone's best interest if I stay away from booze tonight. And if anyone asks me why, I will just be honest with them and say, drinking is a form of self-medicating when you have depression. And, I'm depressed. So you don't want me drinking. I will be in no shape to do anything tomorrow if it turns into something really bad, And I was, as I said in one of my posts, openly talking about suicide during Monday night's practice, which worried the shit out of several of my teammates. So I had a little bit of an intervention Monday night after practice, and I've been keeping in touch with my friend who is the league rep. She had wanted to talk last night, but I never heard from her, so I figured she got caught up in something. But I told her yesterday, she checked in with me a little bit, and I told her yesterday that as much as I said I wasn't going to let it bother me, it's been bothering me. I told her I sort of like right now, because so many people are playing tomorrow. We have probably 8 of our players certified and are playing tomorrow. I said, I kind of feel like an outsider, I kind of feel like, I can no longer sit at the cool kids table. And it hurts. And she just told me, hang in there, and we'll work to get you up to speed on the final thing you need to do. She says, just start telling them every time, I need to do this, I need to do it, I want to do it. She said, if you do it every practice at least once, she goes, you'll get there. But it does, it hurts. It's like another failure in my life. And I have too many of them. I have way too many failures. One of the things I had said about getting into Derby is I felt like my life was defined by failure, and I needed to have a win, do something that was going to be a win. The problem is it's turned into just another failure for me. And 3 goals actually, that I had set for myself in November of last year have not happened. So, it's just another thing I gotta fight against to keep myself on a even mental keel. But as I told my friend last night, as you may have seen the pictures where they were drawing our jersey numbers on our arms, which is like a tradition. Except the person who's doing it, she actually makes these armbands with your jersey number on them. You have to have your number visible on your left side, your right side, and on your back, so that the refs can see you. Most of the time they don't care about the front because you're usually running into somebody, so they can't see your front. But you have to have your number visible on your arms, and you have to have it visible on your back. And they have to be a certain height. I've actually still got, I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, see, there's the 8.8. and I can't get to the 2. It's hard to get back there, so it's wearing off slowly. But she was going around drawing on a magic marker, and she had told me before that she would not make me a pair until I certified. Because that's like her initiation gift. Everybody who had certified, she was going around measuring their biceps here to get the band. And she came up to me to put my numbers on my arm, and she said, "So when are you certifying?" And I just smiled and said, "Oh yeah, it's gonna happen soon. Don't worry." But I told my friend, I says, I felt like I was dying a little bit inside when she said that. Just another reminder that just can't do it. Haven't been able to do it. It's going to be hard to go to all this stuff today and tomorrow and to get up there and film, knowing that I could have been out there, and the only person I have to blame for not being out there is me. And as such, even if I were to certify next week, probably the soonest I'll play is May. So, I've kind of basically pissed away 3 months. And that's what I told my friend. I said, this has just been hanging over me. And it's becoming oppressive to the point where, I've wanted to quit a couple of times because it just felt like I couldn't go on. And I said, it's affecting my mental health. It's affecting my emotional health. It just... It's just another in a long line of things that's weighing on me, and I can't seem to make it better. I can't seem to make it better. I can't seem to make it work. And I'm at a point where I need to shave like 40 seconds off my time to be able to certify, which, Jesus, that's like shaving 3/4 of a second off of every lap. It really is. And you'd go, well, 3/4 of a second is not that much. Yeah, it is. It really is that much. I have to figure this out. It's actually more than that. Let me see. My last time was 5:40. It was actually 5:38. So in order to get it, I would need about 40 seconds. So it's about, actually, I need to shave about 1.5 seconds off of every lap. And oh my God, at this point, that's about 3/4 of a second in every turn. About 1.5 seconds off of every lap. And I just don't know where I'm going to get it. I mean, it's speed. It's a matter of I'm not coming out of my turns fast enough. I'm going into my turns really good, but I'm not getting enough speed coming out of my turns, and that's where it's killing me. And that tends to be the point where it kills everyone. One of the girls who's actually playing, because she had her time below a certain level, they let her certify. You're allowed to certify, you just can't play in certain types of bouts. and she's trying to get what she says legitimately certified, and she got chased around the track the other night and still managed the 502, and she said it's driving her crazy because she's been 508, 507, 508, 506, 507, 508, 509, the whole time, and then she got chased around the track by one of our vets, and she still did a 502, and she said it's just driving her nuts. She's done probably 7 or 8 27.5s in the last 2 weeks, and she still has not done it. She told me she's actually having nightmares over the fact that she has not been able to close the deal. She's still playing because, like I said, if I had brought my time up to say I think like about a 5:15 or so, they would have let me play, but they didn't because I didn't get there. Because I couldn't shave 18 seconds off my time. And again, it's a failure. It's a failure on my part. I said yesterday I had to spend most of Thursday trying to not beat up on myself. I was in a good mood Wednesday night. She even said that. She goes, you had good, and you looked really good. It looked like you were in a better place. And I said it was hard. I told her, I said it was hard. I don't mind scrimmaging because you just kind of lose yourself. But I said when you're out there by yourself, you feel the pressure. And I said, and then Thursday, I said I spent most of the day beating up on myself, and that's when I told her. I said now I don't feel like I'm part of the team anymore. Again, I feel like I'm not able to sit at the cool kids' table. And I'm an outsider looking in. Like the world's oldest freshie. It's funny because for the longest time we had this big batch of freshies. And I said, now there's 4 of us. And I'm one of the ones that have been there the longest, and I'm coming up on, at the end of this, it'll be 10 months. And I really don't want to still be doing this. I still don't want to be chasing a 27.5 2 months from now. So. It drives you crazy. A lot of it is, too, and one of my player friends actually brought this up. She says, she thinks in a way I'm afraid to really push it, that if I really wanted it that bad, I would just throw it all out there and go. And she says, I think in a way, maybe you're afraid to see what you can do. And I think there's some truth to that. At the time, I blew it off. I said, no, that's not true. I really do want this. But in a way, I think there is a modicum of truth there. In that you start having all these doubts about whether or not you're actually going to do it or do any good or anything like that. And one of the things that surprised me was when we finished scrimmaging on Wednesday night, a couple of players actually told me, they said, you threw some really good hits out there. In fact, one of them was someone who we don't get along that well, but she said, you threw some good hits out there tonight, Cassidy. She said they were really hard. And I remembered one where I hit her, and I actually saw the expression on her face, and she sort of went like this when I hit her. Because I just kind of laid into her. And there was a couple of other people that I was knocking out pretty regularly, except, I'd make the mistake of going out myself, so it kind of nullified the whole purpose. But, yeah, there's a certain amount of fear. I go into those turns and I'm going fast, and I can feel the fear rise up where I'm like, geez, I don't want to wipe out. And I have wiped out in those turns before. That's really one of the things that kind of bothers me, is I have had a couple of times where I've went into those turns and I've had my wheels go out from underneath me because you slip on the floor and then you go down. and it just ruins your whole day, you know. I mean, you know, there was one time when I did that, and when I went back and looked at it, and we were talking to my time, and I told my coach, I says, do you think that screwed me up by about, 20 seconds? She says, probably between 20 and 30 seconds it knocked off. And I had like a 550. So, you know, if it knocked off 20 or 30 seconds, and this was back in like October, you know, I would have had like a 530, a 520. My problem is I just have not been doing this enough, and lately I have been afraid to get out there. You know, I start becoming a basket case. And then I saw a quote that I saved actually about 2 years ago, and I saw it yesterday, and so I put it back out on my homepage to remind myself. And I'm trying to find it now. Where is that quote? It's somewhere. Yeah, here it is. And I'm going to sound a little like Carrie here because it's a quote from Doctor Who, which we all know Carrie loves. And, I think he gets that from me. I don't know. But it's actually from the Third Doctor. It's from the episode Planet of the Daleks, and it's a case of where, you know, the Doctor is like once again facing imminent doom, as he often does, and now it's as she often does. And someone asked him if it's, you know, if it's hard, I guess, being brave, if it's hard having courage. You know, that because he often doesn't seem like he's afraid of anything. And what he tells, if it's Planet of the Daleks, he was probably telling this to Joe Grant. That's my guess. But the quote is, courage isn't just a matter of not being frightened, you know. It's being afraid and doing what you have to do anyway. Most people who have done incredible acts of bravery will tell you, yeah, they were afraid the whole time. You know, fear is a huge motivator with humans. And it goes all the way back to the days when, you know, we were animals. I mean, like real animals. And when we were attacked by predators, there was what they call the flight or fight syndrome come into play. And some people will fight. It's just their natural inclination. But a lot of people will flee. And to be courageous, you have to learn to just tamp down that fear and go ahead and do it. And that's kind of now I have to work on that for my 27.5. I've asked a couple of people, you know, when I get out there on the track, will you pace me? Will you get behind me and push me and make me go faster? Force me to find whatever it is I need inside and just, you know, throw it out there, push it out. Yeah, it's scary, and I'm afraid. I'm afraid every time I get out there to do a 27.5 that I'm not going to be able to do it. But I have to now. It can't be a case of I quit whenever I feel like it, because that's what I've been doing with most of my 27.5s. I'll get like 5 or 6, 7 laps in, 8 laps, and then I'll just say screw it, and I quit and just skate off. And I think now people are kind of getting to the point where they don't know if I can do it or not. You know, they're starting to wonder if I'm ever going to close it. And it really has become a matter of I have to get out there and do it. I wish we could do it in a pack. I really do. I'm more comfortable when I'm actually skating with other people, and I think that's because I can chase people. I can go after people. You know, let them set the pace, because I'm really horrible when it comes to setting a pace. I just don't know how to do it. The one night I thought I actually did it all the way through, and my form was pretty good. I wasn't getting a lot of power on my turns though, and after I was done, I thought, oh wow, I did a great job, and then they said 5:44, and I was like, you got to be kidding, that's kind of sucky. And one of my coaches was like, so is that your best time? I said, no, that's like 20 seconds slower than my best time. I said, I've done a 27.5 before, and a 27.5 is a 5:24, because you're averaging like 12 seconds a lap. So, I've done between a 5:20 and a 5:24 before. And I said, no, that's like 20 seconds off my best time. So I'm not happy with it. Wasn't like upset, but I was really, really disappointed. So the goal here is, conservatively speaking, I somehow need to shave 30 seconds off my time. And I mean, to do it, I probably can't. There's been instances where I know if I had really pushed it out, where I've gotten like caught up in a pack and I can't get out and stuff like that. I could have done like a 5:15 or a 5:10. So I know I can do it. I just have to. I have to stop being afraid. Again, failure tends to dominate my life, and there are some people who will say one of the reasons you tend to fail is because you're afraid to succeed. You're afraid to see what's going to happen if you succeed. You're content to be a failure. And I can't be content to be a failure anymore, because tomorrow, that's going to be a hard one. Tomorrow is going to be one of those cases where I will be constantly reminded throughout the day that I could have been one of the players tomorrow. And I'm not. But I'll make it through. I'll do it. And then I'll do this. I'm trying to get a better attitude about this. And I will. I'll keep writing at the same time too. Maybe if I can get both of these going again, maybe it'll bring about a change in my life. I can only hope. It's anymore, that's about all I got left, is hope. So, may as well make the best of it. I do need a new wig, so I'm looking at this and it's like, oh man, yeah, this wig is getting trashed out. I've had this for a while, and it's about time to get a new wig. So I'm thinking of going out to Vogue Wigs and finding a style similar to this and ordering it, because I really do need a new wig. It's beginning to look ratty. So I should start a GoFundMe. Please give me $1 so I can buy a new wig. I only need like $200 only. I'll be good for 6 months then. So all this cost cutting. That's my next thing. Is I think I'm actually going to buy a safety razor, because they're saying now that safety razors are far more economical and easier on resources than buying disposables, because you can get like 100 blades for like $20. But the thing of it is, if you use one blade a week, that's 2 years worth of shaves on $20. And if anyone out there has bought disposable razors, you could buy a pack of like 5 razors for $15. That shit gets expensive after a while. I have a tendency to use my razors for a long time, and after a while I can feel it. So I'm thinking of actually just getting a safety razor, and because I still have to shave a little bit. I still have to shave. But they also claim that a safety razor will actually give you a much better shave. Though you have to be careful, because a safety razor will hack your face. up like nobody's business if you don't know what you're doing. So I have to be careful. Well, I've rattled on for almost 45 minutes now. Yeah, it's coming out for 45 minutes and 44 minutes and 40 seconds. So I hope I haven't bored you too much with my Tales of Woe. And tomorrow I'll have another excerpt out. You'll be able to see more of the vision. I'm hoping I can actually end the vision, so we'll see what happens. All right, so take care. Have a good evening. Aaron Go Brawless. Don't get too drunk tonight. Take care. Bye.